Hi everybody, welcome back to School of Scarlet. Today I have a question for you. Do you find yourself getting recharged by going to socialize with large groups of people, traveling with larger groups of people, just socializing in general? Does that seem to recharge you, or do you seem to have the opposite effect of feeling more drained or this high desire of wanting to be alone? So today I'm going to be talking about the introverted empath, and I'm going to be talking about what you can do if you find yourself, identifying more on the edge of introvert, of neurodivergent, INFJ, or highly sensitive person. So I know that from working with many people in my practice, I have come to find out that most people that are more on that spiritual side, more of those philosophical, deeper thinkers, are actually more on the solitary side, needing more solitude rather than socialization. So society wants you to think that socializing is like the best thing for a human, that we all need to connect, that we all need to go out with each other and socialize together, go to parties together, travel together, do all of these things as a group. And so that is what is the, healthy way of being. So I want to give you a different perspective here, that there is a population of humanity, of humans, that do not require that much socialization. They actually require more solitude and more time alone to introspect rather than being out socializing. And so these are the deep thinkers. These are the people that you would consider like your monks, your mystics, your hermits, people that, create creative work. They actually thrive on being alone. They actually thrive in solitude. They actually come up and, have a lot of the creativity that happens for them arise in solitude, which is why they seek solitude most of the time. So many of the great, authors, writers, all of that, have you ever noticed that they oftentimes will live more away from society, or they'll go find a retreat or find themselves in a spot where they go find a cabin for a couple months where it's all the way away from society. They don't have connections to social media, that sort of thing, and they focus on writing their book. So I've recently been watching a show on TV that, the main character is an author, and so she finds herself having to cut off from society. Her editor wants her to, go off somewhere, to turn off her phone, delete all her social media so that she can focus on her book. And I know that from being a writer myself, it is highly beneficial to, cut off all of the noise so that you can focus in on the thing that you are creating. So I know that, I've had in the past, I have a little cabin out in the woods that I've had actual writers reach out to me and ask if they can, rent my home, how much would it cost, because they are writing a book. And that is because we really, need solitude. We need this kind of time to introspect without all of the noise in order to really create, in order to really go deep with ourselves and, really create those masterpieces. So you're not going to find, typically you're not going to find, poets and writers and, people that create works of art and things like that out partying all the time, out being, social all the time. Most of the times, these people, you're going to come to find out, have, a place that they go back to retreat, like a hermitage, somewhere that they go back to retreat to nature. They derive a lot of their inspiration from nature, from some of the aspects of being alone, where you can go deeper into your psyche. And so that really benefits people. And so as an empath, or maybe you're a neurodivergent, or like I said, highly sensitive person, or INFJ, or something like that, you're going to experience that the first thing you're going to notice is that socializing doesn't recharge you. So I know that, lots of people, they seem to get very energetic and, and social and all of these things. And that's almost work for us. It doesn't feel natural. And so it's actually work for us. It's draining for us. Some of the small talk is tedious. It's not fun for us. Dealing with people with big egos or, social situations that are just silly oftentimes can drain us because we are more deeply grounded, where we're not into playing those games. And so it really does drain us. So I saw a meme earlier today, something like that, the person just wants to get away from society because they need a break from all of the stupidity. And not to say that people that are socializing are into stupidity, but you come across a lot of that when people are partying, when people are, drinking, and all the things that come along with socializing. It really begins to kind of, drain you in a way, being around that. So one of the things is to create boundaries for yourself, to allow yourself to socialize when it feels right for you. So, people that are more introverted, they don't actually need to socialize so much as society says. When you need to socialize is when it happens naturally for you, when you're kind of feeling that. And I know for me, I spend a lot of time alone, and every so often I'll get the need to want to socialize. And so I might, go join a drop-in exercise class nearby, and I can be in that group of people, and usually they socialize a little bit afterwards. Or, I might go to an event or a party every so often, or, see my family or do more of that. But it's not a need that I require. The actual need that I have most of the time is to be alone. So that need comes up a little bit more often than it would for me to go socialize. Whereas a person that is not so introverted actually would want to socialize more often rather than being alone. And there's nothing right or wrong about this, but this video is tailored to my viewers. I know working with a lot of people over the years, I have come to find out that there are quite a big chunk of us that require solitude, that, get energized when we're in nature, that get energized when we're working on our creative projects, when we're writing, when we're painting, when we're dancing, singing, creating music alone. It really brings us a spark of inspiration, of energy that we don't get from socializing. So not everyone needs the same level of socialization, just like not everybody needs to eat the same exact kinds of food, We all require different things for ourselves. To say that everyone requires the same thing is really quite ignorant to think that. We all have something different that we require, and it's really about getting to know yourself and being yourself authentically. And if something doesn't feel aligned to you, doesn't feel right, letting that be known to yourself and setting those boundaries and creating a life that is around what feels good to you. So oftentimes people will want to pull the introvert into social situations, saying, you need to get out more, you need to socialize more, I need you to meet this person, that person, you need to come to this thing. And oftentimes we're dragged out of our homes to go do things with our friends because they think that is what we need. And I want you to know that that does more harm than helping the person that needs the time to be alone, because not everybody needs to be out doing things all of the time. And so it's almost like you're a cactus, and there's nothing wrong with a cactus, but like you're more of a cactus, let's say, in the world of plants, and they put you as the cactus in a rainforest. You're not going to thrive in a rainforest with the rain pouring down. You would think that a plant would need more water. You would think that the plant would do better with more water, but actually this kind of plant does better with less water. So, there's nothing right or wrong about that. It's just knowing yourself so that you're not constantly trying to make yourself do things or make yourself into someone that you are not. And verbalizing to those around you, your loved ones and all of those people, what you actually need, how you actually feel, expressing some of it, sort of like I've done in this video, explaining to them how, possibly they get more energized being around certain people, but they do not, or you do not. I know for myself, being around people, I work with people, but, being around people, socializing, I've noticed a difference. A lot of the people that we socialize with actually drain us. There's very few people that actually energize us. And I can count on one hand different people I've found in my life that actually energize us. And that's a very rare thing. So when you find a friend or a coworker, like I've found in the past, that energizes you rather than drains you, that's a very special thing. That's a very special person. And so that's a match to you. And so honor that, respect that relationship, and, pour into that relationship to some extent, because those sorts of people are, rare and far in between for us introverts. And oftentimes these are people that are very neutral, that don't require to be overly excited, or don't require, anything, over the top, It's more of a match in energies that can come together in a very neutral, unconditional space that seems to energize us. And people that, go a little bit deeper. You may have found yourself, hating small talk, hating all of that kind of thing. But you're more someone that likes to be one-on-one with someone and go deeper with them. And if you find yourself being that kind of person, that's where finding people that actually can go deeper is very valuable. Not every person you meet will have the capacity to be self-aware enough to go deeper with you like that. So when you find someone like that, it's important to, be with that person as your friend when it is, necessary for you, or when you feel that need for yourself. So I have a group of people that I know that are my friends and have been for a long time, and that energize me, get my mind thinking as well. And I'm able to talk to them about deeper topics. And that to me is very, very valuable. So I wanted to share what I shared here with you today. I wanted to talk about how not everybody needs to be social, how not everybody needs that as a human need. And some of us actually do need time alone. And this is actually something really beneficial. And we can see from many people, like I mentioned before, monks and writers and people like that, they live apart. They honor solitude. They really see it as something beautiful, and they honor that solitude because it's an aspect that allows us to go deeper with ourselves and allows for a deeper level of peace that you would find that you wouldn't find going out socializing. The world has a lot of noise, has a lot of distractions, and every so often we do need to come back home to ourselves. And for some of us, that is very necessary and happens more often. And there is nothing wrong with that. So I want to kind of just introduce this topic to you, as we'll be going into it a little bit deeper in our next video. So if you are new here and you like this sort of content, please subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell so that you get notified when I put out my next video. If you would like to connect further with me for a one-on-one session or any of my course offerings, please check out my description. I offer one-on-one sessions and courses that are tailored to my viewers and people like you. So if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for staying to the very end. I love you all, and I will catch you on our next video.